hard thing. The reason people go to seek advice is because they're confused and they know that these are big decisions. So it's important that when people seek financial advice, they can have confidence that it's in their best interests, that it's not going to be polluted by conflicted remuneration such as bonuses or commissions, and that it's advice that will be about what's best for them. Our concern with the government's changes is that they water down these basic consumer protections, and consumers, particularly older Australians, are very alarmed about these changes. You only have to look at the interests in this inquiry to see what's really going on here. We've got the biggest four banks, some of which have been involved in some of the biggest financial crises of the last decade. They're arguing for consumer protection to be watered down. Lined up against them, you've got consumer groups and older persons groups. I know who I'd trust in this equation. You can't trust the big end of town when what they're arguing is for consumers to have less protection. We had a very clear message in the budget last week that more and more Australians need to rely on their own investments to fund their retirement, that we can't depend so much on the age pension. That means that decisions about investments, making the right decisions, is incredibly important whether you're approaching retirement or already retired. People need to have confidence that when they seek financial advice, that it's not clouded by remuneration, that it's not based on what products an advisor is being funded to push. They need to have confidence that it's in their best interests, and they need to know that they will be told about the fees that they're being charged, and they'll be able to consent to those fees and to have them stop if they don't want to agree to them continuing. There's lots of arguments about subsections here, but this is an argument about basic principles. If you get financial advice, it should be in your best interests. If an advisor is charging you fees, they should be required to tell you about that and get your agreement, and that the advice they give you should not be based on which products they're being funded to push. It should be based on the product that's best for you. There's a lot of alarm in the Australian community about these changes, particularly among older Australians, and we would say now is the time for the government to draw a line under these changes and abandon them. These are basic consumer protections. People need good financial advice, and the only groups that are arguing for financial consumer protection to be watered down are the big banks and the representatives of the investment industry. It's time for the government to put the interests of consumers first. That's probably about it.